They say your 20s are for trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. So that's what I did. I was raised in the big sky country. I've even lived in the big city. I was once an accountant, but now I'm living my dream that I never knew I had. My young lady J-Bay and I now live in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, where she's in residency. So I opened up my own woodworking business and even got into gardening and farming. So now I'm a homesteader. This is Homesteading with J. Charles. Put the lights on so you could see what I could do. Is it worth it? Let me work it. I'll whip my thing out and reverse it. Is your person for friend? It's your person for friend. If you got a big peacock, let me search it. So I know how hard I gotta work it. It's your preferred friend. It's your preferred friend. Oh, well, hey y'all. It's J. Charles here. I didn't see you there. This is an exciting night for us here, as we are starting our first episode. You guys remember August Rush? That's where I got these tunes from. Anywho, on tonight's episode, I got a very, very exciting, and as well as beneficial for y'all out there that are in woodworking and greenhousing and green thumbing business, episode for you, as I am gonna unveil, or I think it's reveal, the project I've been working on. Anywho, before we get started, I'd like to thank my young lady, J-Bay. And yes, I said young lady, instead of everyone always says that. So now if you follow along with J-Bay as she holds the camera and walk, we will lead you to the 16th chapel of the greenhouse. But it's the first, and it's not a chapel, but it's pretty cool. I think you'll like it. I made this as a freestanding greenhouse. Yeah, you will not believe it once you see it, but it is 100% freestanding. That way, when we move, oh, sorry, I'm a little parched. We could sell it, we could bring it with us, it just depends, but we made it to go with our lifestyle, as J-Bay is in residency. And I will give you a tour of the outside and the landscape, but in detail, that will actually be in another video as I describe and show you how to do landscaping like this and other projects we've done around the house. But as you get up to the front of this awesome greenhouse, J-Bay actually purchased the rooster on top. Can't really beat that. Copper, Dude America style, and just really adds, and as people have said, gives it a temple feel, which we weren't looking for that. But anywho, another thing to always remember is antiques, anything that's random. Like I just found this in a shed, and I like to collect stuff like this because I know one day down the road I'm going to end up using it. And keep your head open and your imagination even wider. Anyway, so back to this. I was having trouble with drainage issues since we're on a slope here. So I decided, after I put this whole pathway in, I decided I was actually gonna trench this out and make it a little overflow pond, I guess you could say. And I put some piping underneath, give it a little bridge feel, but it actually helps keep the water away from flowing into the freestanding greenhouse, which the pools are about 4 feet deep, but there's no concrete, there's no rock or anything around them. There might be some, or there is actually pea gravel and that kind of stuff to keep the water from flowing through. That way it doesn't tilt and it can stay at a perfect 90 degrees. But before we step inside, I really found this pond just fascinating after I improvised and accidentally made it. And I feel like a lot of times after a stressful day, I'll just catch myself down here and, you know, think about life and what my next step and journey is, and skipping rocks across the pond like we do as kids. But yeah, I was a kid then. I was a lot better. Didn't have as much on my mind. But anywho, got a little sidetracked there. Now I will bring you into the greenhouse. These doors right here, these were made out of just a single sliding closet door. Gave it more of a French feel because I heard her say greenhouse French. I thought a French greenhouse, potato. So I made these out of a single closet door I found on the side of the road. Back in the spring, and then I spray painted them, and then got these handles which worked out perfectly and even matched this antique itself. And anywho, when you open up, when you go inside, this is where it gets pretty, and this is what relaxes you and makes you just like feel like life is, you can put life to the side and enjoy yourself. So when you walk in, besides the plants, we'll get to that, we hung a birdhouse up here, and we put some ground covering fern in it, give it, you know, nice little French feel, as well as just add some light and some decor to this place. And the one thing she wanted was raised garden beds, and it makes a hell of a difference, keeps everything out that is in the ground, I guess you could say. Here we got some cauliflower, some broccoli she just planted, and some romaine lettuce for our fall crops. And then she has a few more grown in the arrow garden that will be planted here in a couple weeks. Anywho, I didn't realize how beneficial these raised garden beds were, mixing it with the compost, the soil, and then, which is about 70% of it, put some meat moss, potato, tomato, frittata. Anywho, it really makes a difference because those insects that are already burrowed in the ground and literally hibernate, I've learned from my cabbage patch, can literally wreak havoc. Not cabbage, sorry, I meant pumpkin. I like to say cabbage patch. I don't know why. I've never even grown cabbage. Hell, I've never even grown a plant until this year. So anyone can become me. So even included some shelving in here so she could have her seedlings growing while also having enough light in room for plants that are actually in flowering and whatnot. But everything in this is actually made out of, the actual windows are all 100% recycled, whether they're literally 100-year-old windows that I found on the side of the road, or I found in a dump outside of a used or a window shop. I remade these ones. These are actually full window panes, but I took the glass and I made my own window frames to give it that French feel. And then we did corrugated work or roofing on top. Very simple. That is probably the most expensive part, as well as the raised garden bed, because I used pressure treated wood, which is completely fine to use these days because it doesn't have any crazy chemicals in it besides copper. But there is one tip I'd like to give you. You notice this bottom piece, that was the last piece I put on, and I bought it the day I painted. You gotta let that pressure treated wood dry, because those chemicals inside, they're moist, they're very moist, and if you don't let them dry, they just seep on out. So you can even tell the tone and the color. So now I have to give it another week or so. Hell, I don't know, I just made that part up. I don't know, but I should have just waited from the beginning, and now I can actually paint it again now that it is dry. Thank you all for tuning in on the inaugural episode of Homesteading with J. Charles, and I hope you find this video informative, and I'd always like to leave you with a couple words of advice. Number one, J-Bay would kill me if I didn't say this, and I believe in it too: wear your damn sunscreen. Wear it. If you want to get old, look good, and feel good, and also just not have cancer and stuff, and just like be you, do it with sunscreen. Number two, ELE. Good friend Will F. always told me that. ELE. Live by it. It means everyone love everyone. Y'all have a good night.